not happy on this one. Probably one of the best examples that Uber and Lyft do not give a damn about us rideshare drivers is what is happening in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another somewhat depressing, if not angry, ride-sharing video. Now, we talked about the state of Minnesota earlier this year, where the state had voted in, passed both the House and Senate in that state to give drivers a host of better benefits, pay, protection from wrongful deactivations, and all of the bad shit we routinely complain about. It was ready to go. All the governor needed to do was sign it. And he chose instead to work with Uber and Lyft, and he vetoed it. The only thing he has vetoed since being a governor for several years in that state. Obviously, it sounds like he got paid off. Right now, the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, has voted in favor of doing something similar for drivers, but only in that city. It went from the whole state of Minnesota down to its largest metropolitan area, that one city. And both Uber and Lyft are telling the city, the officials and the citizens of that town, if the drivers get these extra provisions, they're going to remove themselves from Minneapolis, Minnesota. That is bullshit, period. Minneapolis is one of the 10 largest cities in America. If Uber and Lyft leave Minneapolis, Minnesota, there are a host of other investors that will swallow up that market and ensure passengers have somebody to ride with. Now, what are they offering? First, they're trying to make it comparable to the $15 minimum wage that already exists in that city. In the city of Minneapolis, they have a $15 minimum wage out there. So they're trying to make it so that rideshare drivers would earn something comparable to that. Now, obviously, we're independent contractors. We're not W-2, but you can adjust the fares to ensure that a driver who has been driving somebody for an hour makes at least 15 bucks. Currently, we know that does not happen when they're paying you as low as 65 to 75 cents a mile in a host of American markets. But the idea that they would leave the city if drivers get an extra increase in fare is bullshit. Seattle is the perfect example where drivers are now making $1.50 a mile, and none of that shit happened. And they certainly threatened the residents and the political officials in Washington the same way they are now. They do this to get the voters to vote down helping drivers. But it's more than just the actual increase in fares. Wrongful deactivations is something we have bitched and complained about for the longest as well, where they can just fire you for no damn reason, give you no explanation of any significance, and there's not much you can do. Minneapolis wants to make it so they got to give a reasonable explanation why they terminated you and give you a way to appeal and try to get back on the platform. In addition to that, is those fucking gift cards. I don't think there's any driver that is a fan of allowing passengers to use gift cards. Yours truly, absolutely not. I do too many videos on the lack of safety in ride sharing. Giving passengers the ability to use gift cards removes a hell of a lot of data trail if something bad happens to you. Because currently they have to use a smartphone where your information is attached to your account. Now they can use gift cards. They're trying to make it so they can use 800 numbers to hail us like taxis. The whole purpose of ride sharing through an app was to provide a cashless transaction and more safety to drivers. Now it seems like both Uber and Lyft are just like, I just want to get the money. I don't give a damn if we have to backtrack on the safety features. Let them, before you know it, they'll be allowing folks to just hail us on the street like the cabs did. As long as they can make money, they don't give a damn about your safety. And in Minneapolis, they're trying to remove the gift card provision. which I'm going to assume just about all drivers are a fan of getting rid of the damn gift cards. So getting rid of gift cards, making it far more difficult in regards to wrongful deactivations or providing some transparency, and of course raising the fares. Now, Uber and Lyft, if they didn't want to look like such assholes and pieces of shit, what they could at least do while we're debating the fares is say, well, we're going to make the wrongful deactivations go away. Or we're going to get rid of the gift cards if the drivers are not fans of that. But right now, we can't afford to give the fares. Now, not being able to afford to give the fares is bullshit as well, but they could at least try to throw the drivers a bone. Wrongful deactivations is probably the worst of it, because several news outlets have shown that they're even using discrimination and racism to some degree in how they are deactivating drivers. But it doesn't matter about the racial aspect. If you get kicked off the platform, you should have a right to appeal or present a point that you shouldn't have been kicked off to begin with. Got a lot of customers making up bullshit and costing drivers their ability to earn an income. I did a video the other day where Derek Khosrowshahi, the CEO of Uber, was trying to promote folks to buy electric cars, mainly because some of these metropolitan areas are going to force ride-sharing vehicles to be all electric by a certain point in time. How the hell would it look if you take the CEO's advice, go out and spend your money and purchase an electric car, and you can get deactivated off the app for even the most mundane of reasons? You don't went out and pay $30,000, $40,000 to get a vehicle. A passenger makes up some bullshit on you, and now you can't even use the vehicle to earn an income. This needs to happen in regards to wrongful deactivations. That is something that needs to happen nationwide. That shit needs to be addressed. It needs to stop. Until they come up with a way of properly addressing drivers that believe they were wrongfully deactivated, I wouldn't advise any damn body to go out and purchase a vehicle to drive in ride sharing. Be prepared to use that vehicle for something else, because at any given time you could wake up and no longer be on the app. I've done questions for my veteran drivers. A hell of a lot of you have been deactivated for bullshit. Yours truly, simply because they wanted to do a routine background check. I got deactivated on Uber for 3 months. Wasn't driving for Uber, I was driving for Lyft, so I didn't really give a damn, but it took 3 months for a guy who has no criminal history whatsoever, not even a single arrest. Nothing's on my criminal history. Took him 3 months to clear me from a routine background check and allow me to earn a living again. If I had been a full-time driver for Uber, had went out and purchased an EV, electric vehicle like Derek Khosrowshahi has suggested, I would have been sitting on that vehicle for 3 months without being able to earn a living for no justified reason at all. I do not promote anybody to purchase an electric vehicle to drive in ride sharing. It's way too flaky at this point to do something ridiculous like that. But hopefully this passes in Minneapolis. Obviously, we need this in virtually every damn market around the country. But hopefully the threats that they're making do not work like they did in the state of Minnesota. The governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, he's not involved in this. This is a city ordinance. So hopefully it passes. But it's a damn shame that ride sharing has been around almost 10 years now. Actually, it's been around longer than 10 years. And we're still fighting for some of the most basic shit, like being told why they actually deactivated you 10 years later. Just think about in that time span, how many drivers around the country, most likely around the world, have been deactivated for no reason of no fault of their own. 10 years we've been asking for this, over 10 years. Just give us a legitimate avenue to appeal or at least address why we got deactivated. Just think about how many thousands of drivers have wrongfully lost their ability to earn an income because they don't have any real transparency on this. It's a depressing video, folks. Like I say in many of my videos, it might be time to get this shit up. It really may be time to get this shit up. The drivers in Minneapolis, without these increases, they're not making much at all. And to have Uber and Lyft threatening, well, if we try to pay them what you're asking, we're going to cut their employment completely off. So they have a choice. Either barely get by or get fired completely. These companies don't give a damn about you. It's your boy Tim. I'm pissed. Subscribe to the channel. Click the like button. See you in the next video.